These are the honeymooners. Having a great time by the pool. And here's the maiden so forlorn, drowning. We're back by the hibiscus pool. It's the 26th and 1:45. Sitting under an umbrella because boy is it hot. Hibiscus galore. This is the newest shopping mall in the Ozarks beach, or Ozarks beach actually, area. Quite extensive, 90 shops in all. And this level here that we're looking at is the second level. And it goes down by the umbrellas there to the third level. And then further down to the fourth level. It's Highway 54 up there, which is currently closed by the floods in the capital. Here's the umbrellas again, now down on level 3 of the shopping mall. And the fourth level is down below that building in the distance there, or that one there. All sorts of vehicles in the parking lot of the shopping mall. I don't know whether these ones here have come for lunch, but sitting there with the motor running and the air conditioning going inside. Well, we've just had lunch. We do seem to eat at rather peculiar times. But nice little location. Part of the lake there, around the back end of the restaurant where we've just had lunch, in the Bavarian Garden, and another view of the lake there. There's a bridge that goes across there, and we're sort of generally heading south. All the traffic you see heading towards me is generally heading south. But a lot of development. More boats. This is the main call at the main reception area of the Four Seasons Lodge, or Lodge of the Four Seasons. Oh. This is Highway 54, the highway that we have to take to go back to St. Louis to turn our rental car in.
The day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, go.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Birthday check, birthday card. It's got this letter to the mother. The mother's name on the outside. It's stapled shut. Now, what do you think this kid is going to
This is a family bag.
So he asked but I write a letter.
These two with you. It's just nice to see you. Got down to Lady Nose. Oh, look at those boats.
Just look at those boats.
Wow, and there's the little houseboat even chugging along quite
Mm-hmm.
fast.
Oh, that one over there, yeah.
And if it knows where it's going.
We can't see that with the naked eye very well, scarcely. Marina down there. Maggie Mays just had a couple of drinks and some lovely onion rings, believe it or not, just onion rings. Well, we've said goodbye to Four Seasons today, and we've driven a couple of 100 miles from Lake of the Ozarks, a bit over that. And we've arrived in a little old country motel, would you believe, but that's their implement shed there. And it's quite late in the evening, 20:05.
8 o'clock.
You probably heard the crickets going then. They were setting up a mighty chorus a short while ago. A little creek down here, a bit hard to see in this light perhaps. Not a lot of water in it this time of the year. All sorts of activity going on here. If you could see his thread, we'd see him building a web, I guess. Another view out front of the motel. Looking out onto the minor highway. This is actually a second-class road, would you believe? It's almost as good as the motorway out of Auckland.
Did you catch the car for
No.
sale?
Of course I didn't. That's
Oh.
why I was taking it, Margaret.
I thought you missed it, particularly with the coon skin
There's
on
a
it.
little fella up here. Front office and the satellite dish. Miles from anywhere, the population here is about 150. Believe it or not. This hill here is called Pilot Knob. Let me change the date. And this area was one of the decisive battles towards the end of the American Civil War. This was, I think, September 1864, and I'm standing in what remains of Fort Davidson. This was a dry moat around it. This is what remains of the embankment on which the fort walls were built. And the Confederate Army was decisively beaten here, and this crater here is where the original arsenal was, and powder store. And this was exploded after the Federal Army had removed themselves from the fort in the dead of night. This was blown up. There were 1,200 men in the fort at the beginning of the battle, and about 400 of them, no, about 200 or 300 of them were killed during the battle. And in the dead of night they tootle off in that direction over there, between the invading Confederate armies and before the arsenal was exploded. That's the general over there. Not a terribly large fort, only about 70 metres across from here to the far side embankment there, hexagonal in shape. The crater from the explosion, even after all this time, is still 3 or 4 metres deep. Went off with a great bang and was said to have been felt by earth tremors 20 miles away. Here is now a historic site administered by Department of the Environment, I think it is. And there is a museum with relics of the war and a display of what went on, not only for this particular battle, but for the whole of the area. There's our rental down there, patiently waiting in the heat. About 85 degrees at the moment. Closer up of our Mercury Topaz. 2.5 litre V6. I'm now climbing to the top of Missouri. Highest point of Missouri, 1,769 feet above sea level. I've got higher to go yet, but I'm just at surrounding treetop level at the moment. This is a lookout tower. Just as high as I can go. Unfortunately, I can't get right into the top of the tower. They say you can come up from down below, but unfortunately it's locked. But anyhow, there's not a great deal to see from up here. Except a great deal of trees, some haze in the distance, and a little bare patch down there. Some tents. These rocks are It's said to be the, where is she? The oldest in the North American continent. Have been carbon dated to be 1 billion years old. And when cut, they're a very attractive red granite. Cut and polished. See a bit of the colour there, not much. Quite a fascinating picture. Probably the biggest chunk of red granite you'll ever see. But you can see even this large bit. With lots of others stacked up on top of it. Has already, when I say already, it's probably how long, who knows, but it's got a crack, hairline crack running straight through here. Right through the middle. And before too many years will probably go pop. This is a very large lump of rock. Extends about another 20 metres behind me and runs all the way down to this rock in the far distance, right down there, well past there to where I took those other shots with the hairline crack in it, about 100 metres or so, and it's all one rock. And that's only the part exposed above ground, of course. All these little dishes in the top here are referred to as the bird baths, which fill up and freeze and fill up and freeze and thaw, and so starts the cycle of breaking down the rock over the centuries. You can see here 1, 2, 3, just parts here and down here where the cycle has gone on, splitting the rock off the sides. These trees are the Missouri mountain oak. Remarkable trees. There's one over here, there's a good example, just growing straight out of the rock. Very narrow fissure, but quite a large tree, relatively speaking. Of course.
Big black snake by the house.
Yeah.
You see its little head stick out.
A box
Keep the
snake,
mice down.
did you say?
Black snake.
Black snake, are they poisonous?
No. They're good for getting rid of mice and rats
Oh,
and other
really?
copperheads.
Oh.
That's
Good
why
one.
we haven't killed it yet.
Oh.
But they're really they're not aggressive. Now, they'll defend themselves if you get them trapped in a corner and mess around with them.
What would they do?
They'll try to get away, but if you don't let them get away, they'll bite.
They'll bite.
Yeah. They do have teeth, no poison.
No.
They do have teeth. But I would, if somebody trapped me in a corner, I'd
Yeah,
bite and kick
Exactly.
and scratch and hit
Oh,
too.
you wouldn't do that, would you?
So I can't blame them for that. But if you give them a choice,
Yeah.
they just want to get away.
Well, you've got to be pretty purposeful to do. Skin, do they get exactly the same pattern on?
Yep,
As
they
they
have the
have
same
here.
pattern underneath.
Like a fingerprint.
And a little bit of the pattern shows up on the skin that they shed also.
Yeah.
It's faint yet, but the pattern is still on there.
Yeah.
So she'll hold herself out. Yeah. They're really very inoffensive animals.
Yeah.
This one's only 2 years old. She'll get about a foot longer and a little bit fatter
Yeah.
than she is.
Mm-hmm. What age do they breed at?
It's not age so much as size.
Uh-huh.
In the wild, probably after about 3 years, if they had a
Mhm.
good supply of food, 3 or 4 years, they could start breeding.
Mm-hmm.
Once they
This is an old quarry from the 1840s, 1860s. No, sorry, let me try again, 1870 odd. A lot of the granite from here went to pave the streets of Jefferson City and other cities in the area. 30 foot down to the water and 40 feet deep down to the floor of the quarry. Very attractive bush surrounding the area. This is one of the, I think I might have said that this is one of the Missouri state parks. Light filtering through makes it very attractive.
Mystery.
This is an old railway station being converted into a bed and breakfast. We had high hopes of staying here for the night, but unfortunately it appears to be closed down. Certainly closed at the moment. Even got a couple of freight carriages parked outside it, still on the railway line. Street closed. Dry as a chip up here, dusty. Hasn't been rain in weeks. The road's flooded out by the rising Missouri. This is the city of Festus. National Guard are out in force. This is the main street of Festus. Closed off down here. Great piles of sandbags waiting to be strategically placed.
Where to, man? What? Hey, you're on the clock, man. Are you on the clock? One of these down here up there. One of these is leaving. Going to wing. This one's going over here.
I'm just going to keep the area clear behind the sandbags. On the other side, water's 5 foot deep. Still rising. The second floor level there.